It's a bit awkward with just me talking and I can't hear any of you. So,
what's up, Leo?
You turn on your mics and say hello. Who is?
Yo.
I can't even.
What up?
I can't even keep track right now.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, brother.
Hey, bro. What up, Leo?
With me just watching.
Leo, big boy. Hey, Leo, what's going on?
What's happening, guys?
Hey, Coco.
Hi, Didi.
Okay. Now, honestly, it's good to see you all. I didn't expect this at all, which is it's good. It's always good when your expectations are blown. Won't waste too much time, so I'm going to give people literally like 3 more minutes, and then we're going to jump right into it. Now, I want you guys to bear with me during this. This is the first Zoom workshop I've ever done. Not saying that I'm not going to do a good job. I do have confidence that I'll make you guys happy and you'll walk away satisfied for your $0 money's worth. But I really wanted to do this because I feel like in my stories, there's only so much detail I can go into before it becomes ridiculous and too much to read. And during these times, there's many of you who would love to learn about marketing or to learn about how you can actually generate leads or how to market your product online, and you've just got no idea how this space works. And after, I guess, you run an agency and you have the experience of spending millions of dollars in ad spend, you learn a whole bunch and it becomes like second nature. And so what I want to do is I'm going to break up this workshop into 2 parts. So the first part is I'm just going to answer some burning questions that a lot of you actually sent through, particularly in the e-com space. Where should I build my website? How do I go about selling my product? What should I do to get a high return on ad spend? And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk through an actual entire campaign setup, and I'm going to share my screen. So you're going to see me do this. My campaign that I'm going to set up is actually a campaign we're going to run for LGT Digital. And then we'll probably check in a few days or say in a week or 2, and I'll show you guys what the results are like. But I know it will perform because we've done things similar. So I'm pretty much just going to walk through it. Feel free to take notes if you want. Okay, there's an 11 more people waiting. So that makes it 72 people, almost at 100. And that's going to pretty much cap the meeting. All right, so let's I guess get started from an e-com point of view, right? So the first, I guess the major thing that I always get asked as far as e-com goes is, where do I build my website? Okay, it's a very common question that gets asked. Where do I build my website in order to have an online platform which I can start generating sales in? So if you wanted to have your website be able to be customized and designed in any way, shape, or form that you want, complete flexibility about how it's going to get designed, implementing external plugins, then I would recommend WordPress. Okay, so you guys can make a note of that. WordPress is somewhere where you can, there is no limits to how things are designed. There's no limits to the amount of plugins that you can add. It integrates with a bunch of different softwares. And that's where I would recommend that you build your e-commerce site on. However, this is where most of you are going to fall. You just want somewhere that's very easy for you to check how your sales are doing on the back end. And you don't really care too much about having a crazy custom website. And so my recommendation is going to be Shopify. All right, so Shopify. What's good about Shopify is you can actually purchase pre-built themes. So I'd recommend you come to Shopify, write Shopify themes, buy a pre-built theme that suits you and your product, and then just go in and switch out the products and make sure you get a nice banners designed for your homepage. Now, second thing is that a lot of you are going to struggle with building your website from an e-com perspective, coming up with designs, coming up with creatives for your campaigns, and you're going to struggle to do that because you're not designers. So what you end up doing is you end up going towards, you lean towards Photoshop, and you try to teach yourself how to design stuff through Photoshop, when you should probably either leave it to an expert or use a simpler program, which I would recommend to be Canva. Just by a thumbs up, who here has heard of Canva? Yeah? or just like a, yeah, cool. So Canva is a super easy way to actually go in and design stuff on. There's a whole bunch of pre-designed things for you. You can come from just to lay your foundations. If you wanted to design some stuff, I would highly recommend you go with Canva over here. You can, there's so much that you can work from, just from like a templates point of view. Now with us, when we design the creatives for our clients, we're obviously doing them using Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. But if you're just on your own, then I would recommend you install something like Canva and look at all the templates that you guys have got here to work with. This is what I would do if I didn't have much of a budget to work with and I wanted some content for my Instagram or I needed some content for my ads. I'd come to Canva, you can literally choose a pre-built template, and then you can literally do whatever. I can come over here and then I can switch out this photo with my photo, right? My face. And then I can put in a comment here and be like, going live in 10 minutes. And then that would have been my Instagram post. Okay. So just a great way to design the creatives when you don't have a lot to work with. Now, if you didn't want to design the creatives yourself, then you've got another place which you can go to, which is Fiverr. Okay. Now, again, we don't use these platforms for us or our clients. Again, I'm thinking from the perspective, if I had a limited budget and I needed some people to do some work for me, which didn't cost me a lot of money, these are the platforms I would go to. Just by a show of hands, who here has heard of Fiverr? Okay, mostly everyone, cool. So how Fiverr works is essentially you can like, if I write in graphic designer or graphics design, you can come over here. And this website, there's going to be a bunch of people who'd be willing to design creatives for you. Now, you might have to do a bit of searching, a bit of filtering to see who's good and who isn't. Sometimes the quality is great, sometimes the quality isn't. But again, it's a good place to outsource, I guess, your design when you're being super conservative on your budget to get things done. And that's going to help you with your e-com, because to run successful e-com campaigns, you need to be willing to actually do a lot of split testing, and that might require some different creative designs. Next question I usually get is, all right, well, how do I make sales online? So I know that there's a friend of mine in the Zoom chat. Her name's Eleni, and I've got a couple friends who have recently or are going to launch their e-com sites. And the question that I typically get is, all right, now I've launched it. Some of you may want to launch it and get your family and friends to purchase from you. And that's going to bring you a lot of sales at the beginning, or you're going to have a big launch after you hype it up. You're going to get a lot of sales, but then you actually notice that after a while that those sales die down. Okay. I'm not sure who here has had a similar experience to this, but this is a big common issue that a lot of e-commerce store owners face. After they launch their product, they have a good first week, but then their sales drop off because they've got no consistent form of marketing on the back end. On the other front, you'll launch it to your friends and family, and then your friends and family buy if you've got supportive friends and family. But then after that, you've got no sustainable way of bringing in those sales. So how do you achieve that? You're going to achieve that through a combination or by doing one of these two things very, very well. And that is influencer marketing and paid advertising. Okay. So what is influencer marketing? Influencer marketing is when you take your product and you give it to an influencer and you ask them to take a photo or do a story and get them to promote your product. Okay. Now, for example, Eleni has recently launched a business which is called Bring Me a Cosmo, which I actually had I featured on my story. It's pretty much a do-it-yourself cocktail, and I thought it was super fun, right? Now, if Eleni was to implement an influencer marketing approach, she would go and find her target demographic. She would figure out who her target demographic is, and then she would find influencers that are getting followed by this target demographic. So if her target demographic is women between the ages of 18 and 25, go and find an influencer that has a big following from women between the ages of 18 to 25. And then you would send this product out to her. What your cost is the cost of sending the product. And then once that influencer receives it, that influencer is going to create a story or create a post and then you may generate sales that way. This consistently happens. It would work for a Lenny's business. It would work for a jewelry business. We've got a lot of clients that use influencer marketing as their only way of actually generating a sales, or not with us, but before they came to us to do paid advertising, influencer marketing was their only way of doing that. So what does that, I guess, look like? So one of our clients, Frenchie Wear, they've got this product over here, and they'll send this product out to influencers. Influencers will take a photo in it, and then that will translate to sales. So for example, they'll send this product out to, let's pick a photo here. This young lady over here, and she's got around 8,600 followers. She's posted this photo of the Frenchie. I'm not sure if they've paid her or they've just sent her the product. Sometimes you'll need to pay the influencer if they've got a large following. Sometimes influencers will be willing to do it even if you just sent them the product on their own. And she said, this is where I'll be for the next couple of weeks. She tagged Frenchie Wear. Now her followers, her 8,600 followers are going to click, not all of them, but a percentage of them are going to click on Frenchie Wear. And then a percentage of them are going to go to the website, and some of them may even look through their social media. Okay, but just through their influencer marketing, that's going to generate some sales. So what's this next step after that? The next step after that is after the influencer marketing has occurred and the people have went to their Instagram and viewed their website, you then retarget these people with paid advertising. Okay, just by a show of hands here, who knows what the Facebook pixel is? I love how, Jim, you're like, I don't know. And you've been a client of ours for like a year and you still don't know how Facebook pixel works. So essentially, Facebook pixel is a piece of code that gets placed on a website, right? And that's how people follow you around. If you think about it, imagine the last time you went and viewed a particular company's website, and then you went on your social media and you're like, how did they know I just went on their website? Because they just retargeted you with an ad, right? Because they've got something called the Facebook pixel code on their website, which is tracking you. And therefore, when they show their ad to you, it's not the first time that you've seen the ad. It's maybe the second, third, fourth, or fifth time. And we know that people aren't always going to get sold the first time that they see. So it may need to happen the second, third, or fourth time. So what clients may do is, you may have influencers, right? I'm going to show you like what the process may look. You send the product out to this influencer. This influencer posts your product, tags you. Now, people from her followers are going to click on her social media, on your social media as a result, and view through your products. And some of them will click on the website and view through the products also. Okay. So what you're going to do is then you're going to have paid advertising on Facebook. You're going to do Facebook and Instagram ads that are going to retarget those people. Is everyone following? Just to raise their hands. Yep. All right, beautiful. I am going to pause for 2 seconds just to read through some of the comments, because there's been a few comments sent through. Hi, Leo. I'm new to all of this, so when I hear campaign, I think politics. What does it mean in this field? All right, good question. So what a campaign is essentially your ads. Every campaign that we create, every time we launch an ad, it's going to be called a campaign. So I may have a campaign where I'm trying to campaign and get in front of people. It's the same as politics, in front of people who've never seen the product before. I'm just trying to build brand awareness. Then I might have a campaign where I'm trying to get the people who I just marketed to come to my website. Then I might have a campaign where I'm trying to retarget the people who visited my website to actually make a purchase. So when I say campaign, I'm talking on a Facebook and Instagram level.
Thanks, bro. Makes heaps of sense. Thank you.
No worries, man. Okay, when you contact influencers, what incentive would you give? Let me tell you guys a secret in the influencer world. Most people who've got followers between 2,000 and 5,000 will most likely post your product for free. Influencers are treating their Instagram page just like any business, okay? You would be willing to send a product out for free to get your business out there, correct? You would also be willing to provide your service for free at the beginning to get your name out there, right? Influencers are the same. because influencers know that the more products that they launch, the more products that they promote, they're going to start to be looked at as an influencer. And then eventually a brand is going to come and offer them money. So if you reach out to micro influencers between 2,000 to 5,000 followers, these people don't have followers large enough to sit there and possibly demand lots of payment or a payment at all. They might just be happy with the product itself. So you would say something like, you know, if it was Eleni and you're reaching out to a female, hey, you know, whatever female language, hey babe, I would love to, let me know if you'd be interested in doing a partnership. Our product is worth $150. I'd be happy to send it to you for free. In exchange, we'd just love a few stories and a post on your Instagram. Would you be willing to do that? And you could go on Excel, make a list of all these influencers, then just reach out to them. And eventually you're going to have people who are going to be like, oh my God, yes, I'd do that. I'd love to, et cetera, et cetera. And then they're going to post your product. Does Pixel detect if they click on the Instagram profile or they just click on the website? The Facebook Pixel is made only for the website. Okay, when people go on your website, that's all. But the great thing about it is that on the ads manager, which I'm about to walk through and show you guys, you can actually retarget people who engage with your social media. So you don't actually need a pixel to do that because Facebook already has this. Leo, does an IG story give you the same exposure as an IG post when talking pixel? I mean, I would rather have a post on someone's feed than on their story. I would rather have both actually. Because if you have posts on their feed, that's a good enough photo for you to take and then repost on your social media. If they post it on the story, you got to say, hey, can you resend me that photo? They've probably put text in it. You can't really repost that on your feed. Okay. All right, beautiful. I'm going to move on now. So hopefully that makes more sense. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to use influencer marketing, or you're going to use paid ads. Influencers bring the traffic. Then your paid advertisements retarget people who went to the who went to your social media or clicked your website because of these influencers, and then they're going to then see those ads and they're going to make a purchase, and that's how you increase your sales. So now you're going to make sales from the influencers, just from people who follow them, and then you're going to make sales from the people who went to their website. All right, cool. Next thing I want to talk about is something called a ROAS or ROAS or ROAS or ROAS, however it is that you want to say it. ROAS stands for return on ad spend, okay? So many of you are spending money boosting your Instagram posts from the front end. You put up a post and you're going to click that boost button, and then you're going to put like $20 over the next 3 days or whatever it is, right? We're just having a successful e-com store owner just joined. His name's Vlad from Pura U. These guys just made it on news.com and Daily Mail, I believe, for killing it. So good to have him in here. Now, what was I saying? Damn, I lost my flow. Vlad distracted me. You guys can take it up with him.
ROAS, you're chatting about ROAS.
Hey, thank you. All right, beautiful. So ROAS is return on ad spend. The great thing about it is a lot of you right now are putting up a post on Instagram and then you're clicking that boost button. Stop doing that shit, please. It does not work. It's a complete waste of money, okay? It does not work one bit. Never going to produce good results. If you're getting a few leads here and there, if you're getting some purchases, you can't track it. If I asked you how much purchases a particular ad campaign got you, you would have no idea. That is not how ads work. You have to have things set up from something called an ads manager, okay? If you're not sure how to set up an ads manager, just look up, how do I set up an ads manager? And something beautiful happens when you type something like this into Google. It tells you the answer, okay? And this, and you've actually got the instructions here on Facebook, and it's beautiful because they typically actually send you links on how to do it. And there's some good instructions here. You also need to set up something called a business manager as well. So you set up a business manager, you connect it to your ads manager, how to set up a business manager. and you've also got some notes here. So you want to set up a business manager and your ads manager. And then when that's all done, you'll be able to then start to create campaigns. This is how you set it up. So lesson learned, stop boosting. It doesn't work, it's a waste of money. Actually run ads from the back end. When you run ads from the back end, you're going to have something called, you're going to be able to see something called ROAS. So what ROAS is you're going to be able to tell which ad, which campaign. I know I've disconnected my screen, just 2 seconds. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you guys something really, really cool. All right, check this out. So this is what we call a middle of funnel campaign we ran for one of our e-com clients. So what we did is we created a middle of funnel campaign. A middle of funnel campaign is people who have engaged with their social media, maybe viewed their website over the last 100 days. They're a bit warm, but they're not too intensely ready to buy, okay? And this middle of funnel campaign worked so well for this client because they had an incredible influencer marketing strategy. So we were able to see that overall, this campaign had an 18x ROAS. So for every dollar they spent, they got $18 in return, which means if they spent $1,000, they were getting $18,000 in sales, right? Now, is this consistent across all campaigns? Definitely not. Is that going to happen to you? I don't know, maybe here and there. Should that be the expectation? No. Your expectation should never be to try and emulate these numbers, because we've got some clients that are at a 2 or 3 rows and some clients that are at an 18 rows. And it really just depends on timing. It depends on what's going on at the time. It depends on many factors, okay? But I just wanted to show you this because it shows you, I can tell you that by targeting people who visited their Instagram within 180 days, those people had a 24 rows. So for every dollar we spend, we got $24 in sales. Lookalikes. So we created lookalike audiences, which I'm going to touch on a bit further. They had a 15 rows, and super lookalike all site, which is something I'll touch on a bit later as well, had a 9 rows. The overall campaign had an 18. So now when you create ads from the back end, which I'm about to walk through, you're going to be able to see, okay, this ad here got me the highest rows. This audience here got me the highest rows. This campaign here got me the highest rows. This campaign here got the lowest rows. This ad campaign here got the lowest rows. And then you begin to turn things off. And that's what we call optimization. So then you start to see what strategies work and what strategies don't. You don't have that luxury when you're clicking that boost button on Instagram or Facebook. So please stop doing that. All right, cool. That's where I'm going to leave it as far as ecom goes specifically. Now I'm going to actually go through and start setting up campaigns, which is, I'm sure, what you guys came here to see. And as I go through that, I'm going to actually show you some things from the ecom space. You ready? Yeah? All right, good, good. And there is a lot of you in here. All right, let's do this. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to your backend manager once you've set it up, and there's going to be a green create button. So once you land on this page over here, I'm going to show you how to generate leads for any business, whether that's in the legal space, construction, for new home builds, bathroom renovators, kitchen renovators, whether this is for finance brokers, RTOs. The list goes on. We've taken on clients from all different fields. So you're going to come over here, and our objective here is to generate leads. So you're going to click this lead generation option over here when you set up your campaign. So click on the lead generation option under consideration, because our job is to generate a lead. What is a lead? A lead is when someone submits their information and says, I'd like to claim your offer, or I'd like for you to give me a call. That's what a lead is. So if I say I want to generate leads for someone who wants to talk about us running their marketing campaigns, my objective is to get their name, number, and email and have them answer a few questions. Based on the questions that they answer, I'm then going to give them a call. We're going to have a chat. And then a percentage of these leads will lead into paying clients. Same thing across all different industries. So after you click this lead generation option over here, you're going to have an option to write your campaign name. Now I've pre-filled this to stay conscious of time. And I'm going to walk you through how we pretty much just do this for simplicity's sake. So right now it's October. So I put Oct 2020 lead gen underscore. My objective here is to target construction business owners. And I've got another objective, which is to test whether copy focused on generating sales or copy focused on generating leads actually performs better. So I'm going to actually conduct a split test for you guys. Here is what we're going to be split testing. Okay, 2 photos. So this is something you guys need to keep in mind. You can do this without split testing, but you increase the chances of you actually getting something incorrect. By split testing, you're going to increase your chances of potentially finding a winning combination. So right now, I know what I want my audience to be. So I want to split test and see if people would rather see this ad over here, which says need more sales, we'll guarantee them all your money back, or need more leads, we'll guarantee leads or your money back. It's a small thing, but it could result in sales actually generating leads at twice as cheap. And so you guys may want to split test offers. You may want to split test images. You may want to split test a video versus a photo. This is how you do it. So I'm going to split test between sales and leads. You can select this if you want, and then it'll give you an option as to what you want to split test, whether it's creative, your delivery optimization, audience placement. I'm just going to go about how we usually, like a better way we try to do it. And I'm going to duplicate the ad right at the end. I'll show you how to do it. The last thing you want to tick on is campaign budget optimization, which is essentially called CBO, and putting in your daily budget. So what is campaign budget optimization? Campaign budget optimization is you saying to Facebook, hey, Facebook, here's how much I want you to spend every day. You allocate the budget to the ad sets or the ads that you think you would be performing best. In the past, Facebook wasn't as smart as it is today. We had to actually go in and tell Facebook, no, put more budget into this ad, put more budget into this audience, turn off this audience, put more budget into this. And we had to do a lot of manual work. And then Facebook improved its machine learning. And now Facebook's machine learning is actually smarter than the top marketers in the world. And there was actually a study done on this. So it's probably better for you to let Facebook decide to put which audience to put the budget to, or which ad should get all the budget, rather than you trying to figure it out by yourself. I hope that makes sense. Now, as far as daily budgets go, you shouldn't be trying to play this game if you're not willing to at least put $30 a day, okay? Because you're going to be, if you put $5 a day, you're going to have to spend probably for 3 weeks before you've got any data that's going to tell you anything. You've got to be willing to spend. One thing I actually made a note of was to talk to you guys about your mentality around spending. What I find is that most people will be extremely hesitant to actually spend on marketing because they look at it as an expense. I want you to remember where the word expense derives from. It comes from expensive, where money goes out but doesn't bring a return, okay? Anything that you put into Facebook is not expensive. It's not an expense. It is an investment. So the aim is if I put in $30 or if I put in $1,000 a month, that I can get enough leads for me to make my return on investment. So what's an example of this? If you own a bathroom renovations company and you spent $3,000 in a month, okay, or 2.5 or 3 grand, you may go, man, that's a lot of money. It's expensive. No, it's not. Because that $3,000 is going to generate you, let's say 30 to 40 leads. From those 30 to 40 leads, if you close 2 bathrooms valued at $20,000 per bathroom, you're going to make $40,000 in return. So you've spent $3,000 to make $40,000. That doesn't sound expensive to me. So you guys now need to change your mentality and be willing to spend with the thought that you're going to be making this as a return on investment. Sometimes I'll talk to e-commerce business owners and I'll be like, oh, we recommend that you spend $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month. They go, oh, that's too much. That's too expensive. And I go, okay, well, if we can get you a return on investment of 3x, so every dollar that you get $3 in return, what would then be your budget? It would be unlimited. If someone guaranteed you $2 for every dollar you gave them, you would go and find a way to get 100 grand because you know you're going to get 200 in return. You no longer have a budget. That's going to be your mentality. And I'm telling you guys this from experience. That's how I was able to go from just myself and a few employees to having a team of 9 at the moment and a growing team, because I finally understood that I should be willing to spend hundreds of dollars a day into advertising so long as I can close enough deal to make my money back with a return on investment. Hope that makes sense. So what I would suggest here is you put, let's say, $35 a day, and let's continue. You can leave everything else as it is. So now we've named the campaign, and now we're going to name the ad set. The ad set, you want to pretty much just, I guess, name the ad set. You can name this after you've done the other part, but I already know what I'm going to do here. And you're going to obviously adjust the Facebook page. I'm going to put LGT Digital. I've put industry interest. I'm saying that I'm going to target people based on their industry interest, and the interest I'm going to target is construction and extraction. I know this off by heart because I've done this a few times, but you may not know this until you go through the options. You're going to leave everything else alone for now, and then you're going to come up to this section over here where you're going to set your audiences. Now, for me personally, and this is why Facebook can be so bloody incredible, is that we're in a lockdown right now in Victoria. So I actually don't have a lot of clients or a lot of people here in Victoria that would be willing to talk about lead generation because their businesses are closed. So I go to myself, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to target business owners in Sydney, which is exactly what we've done. And now we have a larger client base in Sydney than we have in Victoria because of being able to market like this. So I'll go Sydney. I'll type in the city. Let's say whatever the mile radius is. I don't really care where people are. If you're at a particular location and you know that people aren't going to travel more than 10 kilometers to come and see you, you can adjust this. For me, I don't really care how far they are because they're in Sydney anyway. So we don't need anyone to be close to us. Then I'm going to put the age group. Now, business owners, I mean, they could be 18. People in the construction space are probably going to be maybe around, say, 25. I might just assume these things. I might leave it completely open. Because of campaign budget optimization, Facebook's just going to target the best age group for me anyways, but I'll probably just put a bit of parameters there. Do I want to talk to anyone who's 65 about Facebook marketing? Probably not going to understand me too well. I know I'm being a bit ageist here, but this is just some things from prior knowledge. Let me go up to 50, okay? Now, genders. I know that in the construction space, 100% of the people which we have spoken to have been males, okay? So I'm not going to waste my budget spent on females when I know that I'm interested in talking about to construction owners who are males, because that's most likely who's going to be to convert. Remember, every time the wrong audience sees your ad, it's cost you money. The way you get low cost leads or a high ROAS is to limit the amount of times your ad is shown to the wrong people. And you do that by restricting your audience. So I'm going to put men, okay? And you're going to see it went from 2.4 million to 1.1 million. And now I'm going to take it another step further and do some detailed targeting. And here's the great part as far as doing marketing from an interest base. So then check this out, guys. This is pretty incredible. This is the type of stuff that you can do from the back end. You go to browse, and you can target people on the most insane demographic levels. It will blow you away. You can target people on their education level. You can target people on their, actually financial income was removed for Australia. It only exists for America, so don't worry about that. But before, you could actually target people on how much money they make, right? You can target people based on their life events. You can target parents who have children between the age of 0 to 1, 13 to 17, 9 to 12 years old, 3 to 5 years old, 6 to 8 years old. You can target parents. So when I used to have my tutoring agency, I used to run ads and I would target it at parents who have kids between the age of 13 and 17 because I knew they were most likely to inquire, and I used to get leads like crazy because I'm targeting the perfect person. You can target people with particular relationship status. So for example, for one of our clients, My Lasting Bouquet, who we've had for over a year now, and we've spent a ton of money with them because they're just an incredible business, and they were the first to ever do the 1 year rose. With them, sometimes we'll target people who are divorced, obviously, right? I mean, no, we should be showing love to some divorcees, but maybe engaged or married, right? And we may target men who are engaged or married because they'll most likely buy this gift for their woman. Okay. Can you target people of a specific Facebook group? Not that I'm aware of, but let's see if we find it. You can target people based on different industries that they're involved in, right? Would it matter what order you put the detailed marketing in? No, it doesn't matter what order you put it in, but just a point of advice, don't blast Facebook with 10,000 different interests from all different ends of the spectrum, because Facebook's going to end up getting confused and it doesn't know who to target. So mine's very specific. People in construction, people focus on construction. So I'm going to find construction and extraction over here, and I've just selected it as an interest, and it's been reduced to 8,300 people. Now, if you guys want to generate leads, my recommendation is to at least have 70,000 people or more in your pool, okay? 8,000 is way too little. So I would take a look at this and I'd make a judgment call and be like, okay, construction and extraction, you know, people who are specifically in that industry. Instead, what I'll do is I'll put this, I'll put it, I'll put the industry that they're in instead, rather than, I think I had it as work. So it's like very, very targeted. So now I can have both if I want to. They're both pretty much going to be in the same pool. I don't think it's going to influence this too much. Yeah, it's the same thing. So it doesn't really matter if you've just got, you can just even remove this and I can just keep it just construction. Okay, now I have 540,000 people. I'm a bit happier with that, if you ask me. Now, as far as all these other options go, I wouldn't necessarily worry about it too much. Here's where you can start taking things to the next level. So I want to generate leads on Facebook. So I want to get in front of an audience that maybe hasn't already submitted the lead form. So I may exclude people who've submitted a previous lead form of mine. So you can actually exclude people here who opened our lead form previously. Okay, so I can come over here and exclude people who've recently came to our Instagram, recently went to my page. I can exclude people here who have recently submitted or opened this lead form or whatever it may be. And that's how you start to reduce. This is more important for e-com, to be honest. So for example, if you're trying to get people to buy something at a bottom of funnel, exclude people who recently purchased from you. What's the point of showing someone who bought from you an ad to buy something again? They've just bought from you recently. So you may exclude people who recently bought from you in the last 60 days or last 100 days, 180 days. And now you're getting in front of a better targeted audience. But in any case, I don't need to exclude anyone right now. I'll keep them all in. And that's pretty much where I can leave it. Now, what I want to do is, while I'm here, I did say I was going to give some points of advice or some tips on what you should be doing as far as creating audiences go, and what things that Facebook actually has available. All right, check this out. So we can create something called custom audiences over here. Okay, go create new, and you can create a custom audience. This is where your Facebook pixel is going to come into the mix. So I can target people who've recently went to the LGT digital website within the last up to 180 days. So I can target people who retarget people who recently went to the LGT digital website. For e-commerce business owners, you may retarget people who recently went to your website within 7 days. You may retarget people who went and visited a specific product page. You may retarget people who spent the most amount of time on your website. You may be able to retarget people who just page viewed, for people who clicked the contact form, for people who actually clicked the checkout button, added to cart, clicked the add to cart button. This shit gets me so fucking pumped. It's the best shit ever. You can literally like retarget people at an insane level, and that's how you improve your ROAS figure. Someone goes, you've done your influencer, or you've created an ad, that person's clicked on your website, viewed a couple of products, went to your product, clicked the add to cart button, had a change of heart and left. Then 2 days later, they see another ad and you're like, hey, did you forget something? Here's 10% off to complete your order. Boom. You've got them now as a conversion. That's the type of shit that you're going to be able to do on the Facebook backend. Stop boosting and promoting your posts, please. Okay, because that's the type of, this is how it needs to be done. All right. Okay, cool. So, so then you can retarget people based on this. The next level that you can take this is one of probably my favorite parts, favorite things about Facebook is you can actually create lookalike audiences I'll talk about at a later point. So that's from a website's perspective. What about boosting posts for engagement? That's fine. That's all right, man. If you want to boost just to get more engagement, that's fine. But you could also do that from the back end. You can create a back end ad using that post optimized for engagement rather than clicking that boost button. It's up to you. If it's for a few comments and stuff like that, then it's no problem. So what else can you do? You can upload a customer list. You can upload people who've bought from you and you want to retarget them again. You can upload a customer list. You can get a customer list like this from Shopify. You can target people who've recently watched a video of yours. You can target people who've viewed 3 seconds of one of your video ads or recent video that you put. View 10 seconds. View 25% of your video, 50% of your video, 75% of your video, who watch 95% of your video. You can retarget them. You can retarget people who've recently went to your Instagram profile page. Engage people who visited your business profile, engage with a post or an ad, who sent a message to you, who saved the post or an ad within the 365 days. You can retarget these people. Okay, this is all for FB, right? Not to Insta, or both, because FB owns Insta, correct? So Facebook bought Instagram in 2012 for $1 billion, and so any ad that you create on Facebook can be sent across to Instagram as well. How many funnels, campaigns would you recommend to test one-time duration-wise? For the lead gen, just one campaign for now. E-commerce, at least 3. Top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. Do we have to create a campaign for each audience? No, I could have created, I'll go through that in a second here. So anyways, you can retarget people who visited your Instagram page. You can retarget people who've opened but didn't submit your lead form. You can retarget people who went to your Facebook page, who viewed your shopping on your Instagram. So you can actually retarget all these people from a social media perspective, from your website, across the board. Okay. You can also retarget. You can also now create lookalike audiences. This is the part which I was telling you, which is really exciting to me. You can create lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences is probably the most powerful thing that Facebook has done. Because Facebook has so much data on people, I can go to Facebook and say, hey, Facebook, I want you to create a lookalike audience of everyone who visited my website from the last 180 days. And I can go lookalike, one website visitors, 180 days, right? I create a lookalike audience and I can match the lookalike audience to the nearest 1%, 2%, 3%, and so on. So essentially I say, Facebook, hey, Facebook, see all these people who recently went to my website, or hey, Facebook, see these people who recently bought my product from my website, right? This would be the most powerful one. You can create a lookalike audience of people who've recently actually purchased something from your website. So if you had 100 purchases or 50 people buy from you, you go to Facebook, hey, Facebook, see these 50 people that bought from me, create a lookalike audience of them. So Facebook will give you 100,000 other people that match the people who bought from you to the nearest 1%. That's how powerful it is. So now you're showing your top of funnel ads to a cold audience that looks like your purchase audience to the nearest 1%. And that's how you get in front of people that are even more targeted. So anyways, let's finish off with this campaign. The next part about all of this, I've now set it. I've put my audience. I've got 540,000 people, placements. Now, back in the day, we used to actually go through and manually do our placements ourselves. But since Facebook became so incredibly smart with its machine learning, we started to stop doing that because we found that if feeds were the only place where ads are going to perform, then Facebook will spend its money there. It won't waste its time anyway. So we just now let Facebook do the decision making as far as order. So you can just keep automatic placements the same is what I'm saying. Keep all this below pretty much the same as well. And you can put an ad set limit if you want, not really that important. So now we've finished the campaign and ad set. Now we're going to go through and actually complete the actual ad itself. You guys can turn on your mics for 5 seconds just to say hello. I'm kind of feeling a bit lonely.
You're doing a good job, Leo.
Yeah, doing a great job.
Doing a great job, man.
Just straight knowledge bombs.
It's so good.
That's awesome, guys. Makes me really, really happy to hear.
Thanks, mate.
It's like I'm getting no feedback. It's just me talking to myself. But it's good. It's good when you guys jump on and I know you guys are following. Sweet. All right, let's continue with this.
Your public speaking has improved since year 12. That's all.
I appreciate it. All right, let's go through everything from an ad set level. So now we've completed the audience, we've completed the campaign objective. Now I'm going to do things from an ad set level or an ads level. So I'm going to come over here, make sure your Facebook page is selected properly. I'm going to give this ad an actual name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this ad because I've already done it. I'm going to name it Leo Danny _sales. It's good for you to name these so you can identify the winners quite easily. And then it usually is like preset on carousel. Click the single image or video, come over here and then upload your images. So I'm going to change the image here. I've got my images done already. Try to be prepared for this. So like I mentioned to you guys before, I've got two. I want to test which image is going to work better as far as text goes. Need more leads or need more sales. So I'm just going to upload the sales one to this for now. The next level to this, and this is what we do for our clients, is when things are on story, see how things get cut out. We'll redesign the creative so that they look good on horizontal. They look good on the Instagram stories. You may need to go through the effort to make sure that your single ad is looking good across all placements. So there's a lot of effort that goes into this. So but let's just go for square for now. So I click the done button. Now I've uploaded my image. So now I have my image here. So first and foremost, let's talk from an ad copy's point of view. When you think about ad copy, this is how you need to picture it. Close your eyes and go, if I was my ideal audience and they were busy or they were walking or whatever it may be, as I'm scrolling through Facebook, what would make me or Instagram stop and read the post? What would make me stop? What's that keyword that would capture my attention? Okay. So for me, when I think about construction business owners, they're scrolling. All of them are getting their leads through word of mouth and referrals. And I go, we guarantee your leads or your money back. But damn, I'll stop and scroll. I'll stop that. I'll stop to that. We guarantee leads or your money back. Sick of buying cheap, low quality leads, and we guarantee high quality leads or your money back. Like I'm thinking about what's going to stop them from stopping and actually reading that ad. Most people try to sell it in their ad. Your ad needs to be broken up into particular sections, with every section trying to get that person to the next step. This is probably the biggest value bomb I'll drop here. Okay, so I'm just going to write it up with you guys. So, okay, so stop dealing with window shoppers, stop dealing with tire kickers. Why am I using this language? Because I've spoken to these people. Every time they go, bro, I'm tired of dealing with tire kickers. Every time I buy a lead from High Pages or I buy a lead from One Flare, I buy leads from these cheap, because they're buying these cheap leads. We're trying to get them to get us to run their marketing campaigns. I know the language that they're used to, so I'm going to put that in the campaign. So I might go, need to generate high quality leads or stop dealing with tire kickers. And then I go, that will make them stop and scroll. And now I'm going to give them a sentence that's going to make them want to click the read more button and read more about what we do. So I'm going to go, we guarantee high quality leads or your money back. And then I want to point them in the direction of where I want them to go. So I go point down, I get that emoji, and I click copy, and I point them down. Because what's going to happen is if I write anything over here, let's see if Facebook does it. Okay, see what happened here? Facebook now goes ... see more. So I need that person to click that see more button. I need to give them a reason to want to click that see more button. Most of you are trying to get people to buy your product just from the title. No, the first title is to stop them from scrolling. The secondary heading is to get them to click the read more button. And then you start putting in your points to get them to submit the button at the end, to submit that lead form, or to go to your website, or to make that purchase. So then I go, we guarantee high quality leads or your money back. Now they click that read more button, and then I go, what's our major selling points? No lock in contracts. Whatever it may be, guys, I'm going to skip through this, and then I'm going to try and get them to click that button. So the button I want them to click is not sign up. Make sure you've got your CTA, which is your call to action, set up properly. Should either be shop now, get quote, or get offer. For me, I want them to claim the offer. I'm going to tell them that we're only going to offer the guarantee of high quality leads for the first 10 people this month, which is usually the case. We're not going to take on 100 clients in a single month. You know what I'm saying? So I might end this with the offer. This offer is only available this month, or available for the next 10 people. Hit the get offer button to secure your position, whatever it may be. Spot. And then the headline over here, this headline is going to be this section. That's all I would fill out. Or your money back. Inquire today. Get into a habit of pointing people in the direction of where you want them to go. We've found that this works really well, because sometimes people will leave comments and go, how do I inquire? Or they'll comment and get quote, or they'll comment, what's the website? And they don't know they've got to click that button. People don't assume that people are tech savvy on Facebook or on Instagram. So we may go, quality leads or your money back, because it was cut off. Inquire today. I point them in the direction of this get offer button. I don't need to mention anything else here. And then I'm going to create a lead form. Okay. So you create the lead form, and you're going to do the lead form inbuilt. Okay. And then as far as like the lead form goes, I already preset this just to avoid spending too much time. And I've already done it here. So you go through, you have your title ready. Then people they're gonna go through the actual lead form after they click the intro. So essentially, when people see the ad and they click the get offer button, this is what they're gonna see on their phone. Next, they give you their name, number, email. Then they can review their information. Or, for example, like this lead form, which what happens is the more questions you ask, the higher the quality the lead is going to be. So someone asks, what's the difference between a high quality lead and a quality sale? Every sale is quality. Only leads can be high or poor quality. So a high quality lead is someone who actually is interested and didn't just submit the lead form by accident or is a window shopper. So with us, when I want to generate a lead from a construction business owner, I know that for anyone to work with us, they need a marketing budget, including our management fees with ad spend, of at least $2,500 a month, right? For anyone to work with us, if a business isn't willing to invest $2,500 a month into their marketing, we're not the right agency for them at that current time. So I want to pre-qualify them before they inquire and I get on the phone with them. I want to know that they're a high quality lead. So that can be the same for our clients who are bathroom renovators. We try to put in what their budgets are. So we'll ask their people before they submit the lead form on a bathroom renovation, like, what's your bathroom renovations budget? and we'll put the budget at 12 to 15,000, 15 to 20 grand, 20 to 25 grand. Therefore, that person is more likely to actually be a high quality lead. So these are some of the questions that we ask. What is your current monthly ad spend at the moment? Sorry, give me a sec. Yeah, here. Are you in a position to grow and scale now? We want to only work with a business that's wanting to grow and scale. Do you have the capacity to actually call these leads as they come through? What's your monthly marketing budget? Our minimum budget we put here is 2.5 grand to 3 grand a month. So 2.5 grand, to answer the question Stephen asked, is including ad spend. So what we do is we write all the ad copy, we set up all the campaigns, let's get everyone to sign up now. I won't be able to handle 66 people signing up to this. We only take on a certain amount of clients every month. You've got to be at least in a position to grow and scale. You've got to understand that money spent isn't an expense. That 2.5 grand could end up translating to $20,000 to $30,000 in sales. So if you're not in a position where you understand that money spent is an investment, then we're not the agency for you. We can't take on 100 clients a month. We can only take on a certain amount of clients. But anyways, I want to move away from that and focus on this. So we'll ask these pre-qualifying questions, and we'll ask these questions because we want people who only are willing to actually go through the effort of submitting this contact form. That's how we improve the lead quality. After someone submits this lead, then our clients get an instant text message. Where do you create? The form is created through, it's at the bottom here. So after you set up the campaign, you can create a form here. Just go new form, and then you can literally put in all this information. But I've just done it already. So I want to move on to, I just want to keep this moving. So what we'll typically do is we'll set up these campaigns. These ads will go live. People will see this ad. They'll press the get offer button. When they submit their information, Josh, who's part of the sales team, will receive an instant text message through his phone. New lead has been generated. He calls the lead, books them in for a meeting. We close that deal. We make a return on investment. And now imagine this across all different industries, from construction through to RTOs, to OT clinics, to gyms. The list goes on. Finance brokers, solar companies. The list literally goes on and on. Okay, but this will just give you a good idea on how to do it yourself as well. All right, so now I'm going to confirm this campaign. And I'm going to show you guys how you can duplicate the ad set. Can you guys still see my screen? You can, right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So the campaign's been set up now, and I'm going to jump into more Q&A soon. But I just wanted to show you the last part of this, which was to create that split test. So now my campaign on this level over here, on an ad set level, right? I've got my campaign over here on an ad set level. Then I click into this, and I've got one ad running, Leah_Danny Sales. So I click that duplicate button, and this is how you create multiple. Now I'm going to be split testing the ads. So I click that duplicate button now. And then I'm going to go Leo_Danny_leads. And I'm just going to switch out the image. So now I've switched out the image. Now I've got leads, I've got sales, got two different images running to one audience, and then I press publish. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a campaign set up from start to finish that shows you how to create a lead gen campaign. Cool? All right, more questions, go for it. Who wants to ask a question?
Yeah, I've got one. That's cool.
Where am I looking?
Here. I'm also named Leah.
Oh.
I wrote it down. Actually, give me a second. I was wondering, for e-commerce, do you ever narrow the audience via engaged shoppers?
So let me answer this so everyone here is understanding what we're talking about, because I know there's different levels here, right? Engaged shoppers is an interest where Facebook tells you this group of 1 million people here are known to be very engaged online shoppers. So every e-com brand is trying to go after these people. So yes, they're targeting engaged shoppers is great, but now you're also competing against everyone else. the more you're fighting over ad real estate here. So if everyone is trying to get in front of the same audience, your CPM is going to go up. They're more valuable to get in front of. So yes, we've done it before, but it's just one of very many audiences that we try to do, Leo.
Cool, thanks.
What you can do is create lookalike audiences from there. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Do you always go for, I guess, a transformational copy? So obviously we know that transformation sells, like solving someone's problem where you are now versus where you're going to end up. So you did a stop dealing with shit kickers, we'll give you leads. Would you say that that is the model that you generally go with? Highlight where they are now, so they're like, oh, yeah, shit, that's where I'm at, and then tell them how you're going to fix it immediately in those first couple of lines.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best when you're doing direct to consumer marketing and you're trying to convert as soon as possible. With lead generation, you don't do a lot of funneling. Make a note of that, guys. E-commerce and lead generation are very different. E-commerce, you need to educate the client, the customers. Maybe you don't do anything too direct. So you're filtering the person through your funnels until you get them to that last ad, which converts them. With lead generation, if someone doesn't click on that ad, they're probably never going to click on that. We're trying to squeeze them. We're trying to get them to inquire. So the best way to do that is just to talk from the end. I know what your problem is. I've got the solution for it. Inquire and you'll have your problem solved. It's probably the best way to go about it. It's not even about providing solutions. It's more about talking about, it's about highlighting their pain points. Here's pretty much a great step-by-step process. If you guys want to study someone, study this guy called Shackleford. It's pretty incredible. He's like one of the most well-known guys in the Facebook ad space, and he says something really nice. He goes, the best way to market on Facebook is to highlight the problem, aggravate the problem, then provide the solution. So for me, highlighting the problem is, for you guys, let's say if you're e-com or lead generation, I'll do one of both. Let's say you're e-commerce, I'm trying to convince you to work with us. I would go, struggling to get your campaigns to give you a high enough return on ad spend. Are you close to giving up on your e-commerce dreams, on your e-com dreams? Work with us and we'll guarantee you whatever. So I've highlighted the problem, I've aggravated the problem. I went from you struggling to reach your roast numbers. Then I've went, does this mean you're going to shut down your business? I've aggravated the problem. Then I've provided the solution. Our philosophy essentially, when we're providing solutions for people, is to say, we're not an expense. We're not $2,500 or $1,500, or some clients will pay us a lot more than that, guys, because we also take a percentage of ad spend with some businesses. So in our space, we can take 15% of ad spend, 10%, 20%. Some businesses may spend hundreds of thousands a month, and we make 10 grand a month just from a single client. Some brands out there in America take 10% of ad spend and have clients spending $1 million a month. They're making $100,000 from a single client they're running ads for. Now you may think that's a lot of money, but that $1 million that they're spending is probably making this client 500 grand. They don't care about paying the agency $100,000. Sorry, 5 million. They don't care about paying the agency 100 grand. It's all about return on investment here. Okay. I'm going to use Jim as an example. Jim Bob. Yeah, say hello. Say hi, Jim. So Jim came with a business called Cozy Cribs. It's a previous Facebook ads company. He was spending crazy money. It was like over 10 grand a month with this other agency before he approached us. When I looked into Jim's campaigns, he said that he was generating a lot of revenue. I found out that the previous agency was selling him on him generating a lot of revenue, but never really looked into his profits. And that's something you guys got to keep in mind, that 12 grand spent, 10 grand spent with $20,000 in revenue may actually mean you're losing money if your margin is less than 50%. So you've also got to you've got to figure that yourself, or work with an agency that's going to stay conscious of not just bringing you a return on investment and go, oh, we got you with 2 rows, but someone who's going to get you your profits at a double as well. And that's what I want you guys to think about. Next question.
I got one again if no one else is going.
Yeah, go for it.
Sick. I think my computer's lagging a bit. But I was wondering, do you have any strategies for stopping abandoned carts?
Stopping abandoned carts.
Yeah.
Do you mean so people from abandoning the cart?
Yeah. or like at least retargeting them. Or
For example, that would be a great solution.
sorry, it cut out on my screen. What'd you say?
Taking out shipping fees,
Yeah.
right? That's what shipping fees are probably one of the number one causes that makes people abandon their checkout.
Yeah.
All right. So we've actually, and this is something you guys can pay attention to. We've had clients go, "Oh, our roast isn't that great," and then we'll be like, "Yeah, but we're noticing you have like 20 people have initiated checkout, but only one person has completed purchase. You actually had 20 people reach your checkout page, ready to buy. They've put in their information. What stopped them from moving forward? What stopped them was that they saw a $20 or $30 shipping fee on a $20 product. You guys got to be careful of this stuff. So my recommendation was make your shipping for free and maybe make your product a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And then what
Is there
Vlad,
any other thing that?
what Vlad actually mentioned is on the email side of things. So making sure you've got email automation set up, which you can do through ActiveCampaign, MailChimp. There's so many softwares where, let's say someone has made it to your checkout, and this is something for everyone to know. When someone makes it to your checkout, they've already given you their info. They've already submitted their email by this stage. So if they abandon, you can send them an email and say, "Hey, sorry to see you go. What about would love to offer you 10% to complete your purchase." And then a second email, then a third email, then another email 7 days later, then another email 12 days later. You may give them a huge offer on that 12th email. Okay, it's going to take a bit of effort to set up, but that's how you retain those people. Remove checkout, retarget them. You can create ads retargeting people who reached the checkout page but didn't complete purchases. So if you guys remember on the audience level, you can target people who went to your website. You can even target people who initiated checkout, and then you can exclude people who actually purchased. So then you're retargeting people who actually abandoned.
Cool. And is there an email marketing service that you recommend, like Klaviyo or MailChimp? Like which one in particular?
MailChimp's good. ActiveCampaign is good. Vlad, what are you using? I know that you guys would do a lot. They're all good.
Yeah.
MailChimp, yeah, they're
MailChimp.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
That's all good. Any other question, guys?
Hello.
Sorry?
Hello. I just want to say good stuff, first of all. I do have 3 questions, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So first of all, can you go through like the differences between lead forms and landing pages? Which one would you recommend?
Sure. So landing pages is when you have someone clicks the get offer button, and then they go to your website, and then your website sells them, and then they submit their information there. A lead form is when someone clicks the get offer button, and they don't even leave Facebook because they're going to leave their details while they're still through the app. So there's pros and cons with both. The pros with doing a landing page is that you're going to get higher quality leads. Okay, because someone's actually went to your page, they've went through the effort, they've read through, they're more educated, then they leave their information, they type it all out, they're a much higher quality lead. But it also means that your leads are going to be more expensive because it's going to take more people to actually get a conversion. The inbuilt lead form on Facebook is people aren't even going to, they're going to click the get offer button. Facebook's going to pre-fill their information. It's going to pre-fill their name. It's going to pre-fill their mobile number and their email. So they don't even actually have to sit there typing out their name. Think about it from your perspective. Like, look inwards. Dion, I see your little brother in the background, brother. Think about it from your perspective. Have you ever clicked on a website and then like you've went onto their website and then you have to like fill out your details and you're like, man, I can't be stuffed doing this. And then leaving? That's what's happening, okay, with some of the people. So with Facebook, my information, it goes, Leo puts my number, puts my email automatically. I just press next, and then I just do the multiple choice questions. It's much easier. So through lead form, I get more leads, right? But those leads won't be as high quality as my landing page, obviously. So if you're very busy, ultimately, if you're very busy and you don't want to deal with a lot of leads and you just want to deal with people who are serious, send them to a landing page because you can pay more for the lead and get less. If you've got a sales team and you just need to get people on the phone, then go with the lead form because you're going to get more people to speak to. Our strategy is, I know I've got a good sales team who's going to call people right away. I'd rather get more leads through the door and just get people on the phone. Because when we get people on the phone, we can communicate our value. When we educate them and say, hey guys, like, I know you think 2.5 grand's a lot of money because you're thinking about that going out, but what you're not factoring in is the 10 grand or the 20 grand you're going to make in return. That needs to be educated over the phone. So I'd rather get people on the phone to explain this to them.
Yeah, makes sense. Now the second question, in terms of having a website, as far as lead generation goes, would you recommend having a website like a good one, or just anything would work, or nothing at all?
When you're doing, so if you, the great thing about lead form has been that we haven't needed to rely on clients' landing websites. So it's been like a cheaper alternative essentially. Because if you want us to send, if you want to send people from Facebook to a landing page, your landing page has to be extremely good, right? If you don't want to go through the effort or the investment of building a great landing page or doing it yourself, then you just go through the actual lead form. What was your question specifically? Sorry, so I can answer it directly.
So yeah, you pretty much answered it. It was like pretty much how significant a website would be in terms of lead generation.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be very significant. Your website, your landing page has to be amazing. That's why we usually just go with lead forms.
Yeah, true. Last one. In terms of setting the budget, and there's two types of it. I think lifetime and daily. Which one would you recommend? Because I know with lifetime, I think you can set the timers of when you can turn on and off the ad.
We've done a whole bunch of daily, lifetime, always. So guys, daily is when you tell Facebook, I want you to spend $30 a day. Lifetime is when you tell Facebook, I want you to spend $1,000 over the month. Okay. So with e-commerce, it's easier to use daily because you may want to increase your budgets, right? With lifetime, you just said, I just want to spend $1,000 over the next month. So the benefits with daily is that you can increase your budgets very easily. Facebook's always going to spend that $30 every day. So you're going to be able to gather data very quickly. Lifetime budgets, Facebook's going to be very careful how it spends its money. It may spend $20 at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then $2 from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. It may spend $15 on one day. It may spend $200 on another day, but it's going to spend that $1,000 over the 30 days. So usually what we found is that daily budgets work better for e-commerce where there's more funnels, and then lifetimes work better for lead generation because you can just set up the campaign, $1,000, and Facebook will choose the best times to actually have these ads go live. Okay.
And finally, just in terms of like turning on and off your ads, would you recommend that?
From what perspective?
Like setting them to certain times of the day.
For you to turn them off yourself or for Facebook to?
So I know when you set them to like lifetime, when you're setting the budget, you can actually schedule.
Correct. Only if you know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever assume. Let the data make your decisions for you. That's what I was saying. If the data tells you that people are most likely to purchase your product over the weekend, then have your budget, your campaigns only running over the weekend. If your budget tells you that people are most likely to inquire between 5 and 9 p.m., your data tells you this, or you know this for a fact, or there's some sort of study that tells you this about your particular industry or product, then you can adjust it accordingly. But don't ever do it because you think that's what's going to be the case. At the end of the day, Facebook's going to know when to spend this money. So don't try to do Facebook's job don't try to do Facebook's job. But you can definitely do this later down the track. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. I'm just gonna be conscious in terms of time. I'm gonna leave room for one more question, then we're gonna end it there, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Anyone have one last question they want to ask?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you're starting an e-commerce brand, would you recommend growing like your Instagram, TikTok, Facebook for a while through influencer marketing and posting content, or would you just jump like straight into ads from the start?
I would do both, because when you're building an organic presence, you're going to have people come to your Facebook page, right? And your Instagram page, and these people are going to be, you'd want to retarget them with ads. Otherwise, you're going to have you guys got to keep in mind that like only 3% of people who go to your website or view your are ever going to buy from you. You want to retarget these people. So if you have 1,000 people who come to your website, 5 people will buy from you. You know, 50 people will buy from you. Sorry, like say on average. So you want to retarget them. So I would do a bit of both.
Yeah. Okay.
Campaigns, retargeting social media, and it depends on how quickly you want to. It depends on how quickly you want to grow, and there's so many factors to it. I'm a huge believer that I'd rather invest into paid advertising and then just, I guess, get to where I want to get to quicker. That's how I think about things.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thanks for that.
And you guys want another workshop like this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a good idea.
Yes.
Learns a lot.
So much value.
Look, I'll end it with this, guys. I hope everyone's doing well, like during these times as well. I really wanted to do this just to be fucking some sort of motivation to you all. Like, the majority of people are taking this time as a holiday. They're taking it as a break, and they're not looking for the opportunities that times like this can actually present. And I want you guys to be the 1%. The 1% of the 1% that goes, okay, the direction at which we're moving in, what kind of products or services are people still going to put money into? And start a business in that field. Okay, it's probably not a good time to start up a cafe or launch a gym, but it might be a great time to try and source gym home workout products and start a brand selling gym equipment. Okay, and ultimately, like, use the time where some of you have got time off work, or you're no longer at work, or whatever it may be, to actually educate yourself, learn, study. Teach yourself these skills. You're going to be so much better off for it. And finally, like what Warren Buffett says, during these times, people are going to be retreating. So he goes, you know, be greedy when others are fearful. That was my mentality. When April came, I lost 80% of my business's revenue. For those of you who don't know what it's like to have 3 full-time employees, and office space you need to pay for, crazy overheads, to lose 80% of your revenue, you're at a loss in like tens of thousands of dollars a month. It's not like $200, it's tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm sitting there going, okay, here we fucking go. Like, the toughest period of my life is ever going to come across me. And I'm going to make sure that no employee is lost. And I asked myself some questions. I said, which industries? Stop panicking, Leo. Which industries are going to keep needing your services? E-commerce and construction. Are people in Melbourne going to need my help? No, because their businesses are closed. Where's open? Sydney, Brisbane, New Zealand. So we started creating ads targeting e-commerce business owners and construction business owners in Sydney, Brisbane, and New Zealand. And one second I'm thinking of dealing with people in Melbourne. Next second I'm having people going, hey bro, where are you calling from? You from Melbourne? And people from New Zealand talking to me about construction. We're signing clients from like we're signing clients from Sydney and Brisbane from a decision that was made not to give up. Okay, so please, you guys are fucking awesome for jumping in on this. You're the 1% of the 1%. Grab life by its balls and go for it as hard as you can. And I'm going to try and do whatever I can on my stories and workshops like this to support you throughout all of this, so we can get to the other side get to the other side even better than what we are now. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Leo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leo.
Thanks, Leo.
Thanks, Leo. Good work, man. Well done.
Thanks, brother. It was a pleasure.
See ya. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya. You're a legend, Leo.
Thanks, bro.